What's up guys? I've got a massive upgrade to install today. I'm gonna be putting in the Maier MOD1 upper control arm and coilover kit in my 66 Mustang. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. There's so much stuff in this kit that I can't put everything in the camera frame, so I gotta stand back here to show it all. I'm just gonna cut everything in half just to show you one half of the stuff, and I'll show you how to assemble the shocks and everything, because it's a symmetrical setup except for the upper control arms. Of course, there's a right and left for that, but let's just cut this in half and then we'll go with that. All right, now we can go over these parts a little easier. So let's start over here. What we've got here, there's the washer and cotter pin for the upper control arm where it bolts into the spindle. So we'll use this at the end of the install. This is really cool. This, not only do we get a sticker with this kit, with these JRI coilovers, you also get a dyno sheet for each of your shocks. And it just gives you the information on how each one performed when they were setting it up at the factory. And that's what this little Schrader valve right here is for, so they can pressurize this and get it set up perfect for you. So that's awesome. Maier also includes the Shelby drop, or the Arning drop bracket. If you haven't done that already, it's highly recommended that you install this on your car, drill those holes out and lower the mounting points for your upper control arm. It's awesome that they include that. Here's all the hardware for both sides, so that's awesome. Then we're gonna go over to the upper control arm, and this is already ready, set up, ready to go. We're gonna use this little key to install in here when we're putting this in the car for the bolts to go through so that it's positioned in the right spot. We'll set that aside. Then we've got the JRI shock body and the spring that comes with it. We're gonna take this off, this little spring clip right here. We'll take this off, slide this up, slide the spring on, put this back on, put that clip back on there, and then we can thread this up and just set this for now, and then we can set the height of the car when we get there. And then these three pieces are gonna be what we're gonna install in the car. We're gonna take out the stock setup, the stock shock and everything, the whole shock cap, and we're gonna put this underneath the shock tower up inside the wheel well, and then this will sit on top of the shock tower, and then this will go on top and like that. So I'll show you all that when we get there, but this is the one half, and of course, the same thing for the other half. Everything, all the other parts are gonna be the same pieces for the other side. I should point out real quick, I've got a little bit different install than probably a lot of you guys. I've got an aftermarket export brace set up, and I've also have different shocks in there, so I've got different shock mounts. The install is gonna be the same for you guys in terms of the location and everything, but I've got a couple different pieces I remove versus what you would remove. And then I also have the MOD upper control arms from Maier. Now I'm going to the MOD1s, and I've got some QA1 coilovers in here, so I'm gonna be swapping all that out. I'm not gonna have to do the spring compressor and all that kind of stuff that you guys would have to do if you have a stock setup. So just a heads up on that. I've got videos on how to remove all those parts. So this install is gonna be slightly different than what it might be on your car, but the parts are gonna go in the same place, and we'll see how that when I get it installed. Okay, now this setup here, this kit can work on the 64 to 66 Mustang, but also the 67 and up Mustang. So there's a little bit different instructions for the 67 and up, and this is gonna of course cover for the 66. So Maier has a really good set of instructions on their website if you guys wanna go through that and follow that if you have an earlier or a later car. But for mine, we're gonna go through this. Also, I have a coilover setup here, so I don't have to go through and pull the shock out and then do the spring compressor. I don't have to do all that. We can skip all that because my setup here is actually shorter than the reach of that control arm. So I can go ahead, and my order of operations is gonna be a little bit different than maybe on your car. I'm gonna undo the sway bar and undo the nut here on the upper ball joint for the upper control arm. And then I can take out my shock and get to the part where we're gonna start installing the new parts. Now we do need to get this cover out of the way. It's gonna make it easier, not only for getting this out and installing the new pieces, but also for adjusting the height of the new coilover. So let's get this guy unbolted and get it out of the way. Man, there's a lot of screws that hold that thing in. Okay, that's out of the way. All right, now we can get this lower shock mount done. Now we can loosen up all the stuff up top here. I'm an idiot, guys. I should have undone the bottom of that shock because I had to take the load off of this so I could pull this cap off. So I just put everything back together and didn't even put the nut on just so I can compress the suspension so the shock body would compress so that I could take this cap off. So now we're back to where we were. All right, guys, check this out. It's kind of hard to see, but the two bolts for the upper control arm, see how there's kind of a gap between them and the header tubes? The bolts are pretty long that come with all these upper control arm setups. So there's a secret way to shorten up that bolt without having to get different bolts. And we could just put a stack of washers on this side of the head, and it just effectively shortens the bolt and doesn't stick out. I don't, when the engine's twisting and moving and stuff, when you're driving around the car, I don't want those headers bumping the end of that bolt. So that's just one way you guys can shorten that up if you don't have shorter bolts. Okay, I want to take this off. Just be mindful of the spacers that you have in here, or the shims for your alignment setup. I'm going to put them back the same way they were when I'm done. So I'm just going to make sure to take these out and put them back in the same spot. Let's get these bolts out of here. Real quick, let's take a look at the two. So this is the Maier MOD upper control arm, and this is the MOD1, and actually it's upside down. I just don't want the boot to fall off of here on this. It's gonna get grease everywhere. This is what the top of it looks like, and the bottom. I wanted to point out the mounting location for the shock. See how this, so the stock shock mounting location is actually more in this range on the stock upper control arm. And then with the MOD upper control arm, he moves it out a little farther to get a little close. We want to get close as we can to a 1-to-1 ratio for your motion ratio. So for every inch of travel, the tire goes up and down, the shock does the same. But the stock setup is around 0.5 to 1. So that means you need to have twice the stiffness of the shock, because it's going to move half the distance, and it has to be essentially twice as strong to do the same work that a 1-to-1 ratio spring would have. Now this setup is not 1-to-1, but it's a lot better. It's much further out, closer to the ball joint here versus this one. So this is an upgrade just in the motion ratio, let alone we get that whole coilover setup that's going to be integrated into here. But I wanted to point out real quick the differences between the MOD and the MOD1, and this is definitely the way to go. Also, Maier uses H-O-W-E ball joints. And these are like the Cadillac of ball joints. These things are super, super nice. They're very good, high precision ball joints. And here's a little detail sheet on that comes with them. And they're serviceable and replaceable. And this is something this just kind of separates Maier's parts from everybody else's. When he uses stuff like this, these ball joints are the cream of the crop. They're the best ones to get for what we're doing here. So I'm glad that I have those on this setup. Cool, so this is done. This is out of the car. Let's go ahead and get this installed. Oh, real quick, one more thing. So there's a key that comes with this little guy right here. And then it's gonna go actually on the 64 to 66, I believe it goes this way. I don't think it goes the other way. I don't think it goes that way. I have to look at it again. But anyways, you're going to want to have that. Make sure that you have that installed in the right location, and because it'll position this inside the shock tower. Because you see these slots, because this is designed to be used on different years, and there's different spacings on the 67 and newer versus the 64 to 66. The spacing of the bolts are closer. So this allows them to put it in both cars, and then this key will just set that in the right spot. So cool, let's get this installed. And before I put this in the car, notice how I've got 4 sets of holes here. The upper holes are the stock holes, and these lower holes are that Shelby drop or the Arning drop. I already had that done on my car, but this is something that's highly recommended you guys do, particularly if you're looking for a little more performance out of your car. Putting those new holes in there is perfect. This is where we want to have the mount for this upper control arm. Also, remember I was talking about the spacers for that bolt. I'm making this bolt just a little bit shorter so it doesn't hit the header tube. And don't forget, I want to put these shims. I need to put them here on the front. Actually, I can't put them on yet, but I need to put them on the front bolt so that I can get that caster that I had before. I still want to get in alignment when I'm done with this whole setup, but at least it'll get me close to where I was, and then I can go from there. All right, we can see that we got those bolts. They're not too long. They're not gonna hit the header, so that's good. And then in here, remember I was talking about that key, and that just positions this thing, front to rear, so it doesn't rub on the edges here, so this thing can pivot. And cool, now we're good to go. Let's deal with the shock. So now to put this whole setup in here, there's a couple things we should point out. Because I have this aftermarket export brace, the thickness of this plate is such that the bolts that come with this kit just aren't quite long enough to reach this. So I had to get a little bit longer bolts. These are 3/8 24 thread bolts that we've got here. And then also, if you have the stock export brace, you might find that you have to grind a little bit of the edge or something, because the stock export brace has a kind of like a cup to it because the edges flare up. So these might be a little too close and keep it from setting down flat. So just a heads up, you might have to take a little material off that on your setup. So we want to put this in here, and the bolts are just going to fit through the 3 slots that we had before. This goes underneath. The triangle is going to be, you know, the 2 closer ones are back here. And we want this slot open on the back here, so the Schrader valve from the valve body of the coilover is going to fit right up and through here. So that's why this has to face that way. But, oops, I forgot. We got to put this in here first. There we go. And then I'm going to keep this, I'll come back and I'll tighten this up when I'm done. Now we could put this underneath. So we're going to put this guy under here. It's going to fit right inside here. There's these little edges here on the shock tower. That's going to fit right inside. And you want these nuts that are welded on there, you want these to be facing down. So we're going to put this up here, and then I'll just thread those bolts until they grab those. Thread them by hand, and then we'll cinch it down. All right, let's get this coilover set up. There's a little spring clip piece on here that we want to take off so we can slide this collar off the top. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know what the height needs to be on my car for right now, so I'm just going to set something so that both sides of the car will be the same height, or at least to start with. So let's do this. Let's start this at 3 inches from the bottom of this collar here to this edge. We'll just do 3 inches. And that way we know both sides will be the same, and then we can adjust the height of the car from there. There, 3 inches. Okay, cool. So this is ready to go in the car. This is going to be up top. We're going to want that Schrader valve sticking out. And then, oh, down here, the settings. So for this setup, Maier recommends 10 to 15 clicks. So if we go all the way to the bottom, and we're going to I'm going to do 12. So let's see here. 1, 12. Okay, that's where I'm going to start, and then I can go up from there. And if you had a double adjustable, then it'd be a little bit different setup, but this is just a single adjustable. Cool, let's get this in the car. Okay, so we'll come up from below and fit this right through there. Bolt in, there we go. All right, we'll come back and tighten that afterwards. All right, we can see the Schrader valve sticking out, so we're good on this side. So then if we come down here, now this, what we're going to do is we're going to put a jack underneath this lower control arm so we can jack it up and align the spindle with the ball joint. You're going to have to assemble all the pieces for your sway bar as you do this. I'm going to take that nut off of there, and then we'll feed it up, and then we'll put the bolt in through here. So there's a couple things you got to do to kind of get everything aligned. It wouldn't hurt if you just loosened the mount on the sway bar on the other side, just to give yourself a little more flexibility with this end, so you can kind of get everything put in together. All right, so I went ahead and tightened the sway bar bolts. We just got to tighten this bolt up top here, and we'll be set. All right, now once you get this side all done, it's all buttoned up, you're gonna wanna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and it's gonna be, you're just more or less the same, right? There's just a difference. This is a right or driver's side and a passenger side upper control arm, but everything else should just be symmetrical and we're good to go. So I left those covers off because they're in the way to get to this ring up here to adjust the height. So I gotta put the wheels on, let's drop the car down, and then we can set the height of these, and then I can put those covers back on. All right, let's see how we came out. We gotta move the car back and forth, right, so that it can settle. So let's get this all the way down. Woo! That's already low. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. Oh, that looks good right there. Good night. Okay, so we're gonna move these guys out of the way. Oh my gosh, this car is so low. I don't know if that's gonna work. It might be too low. Yeah, look at that. That looks, I mean, it's awesome. We can get our finger underneath there. I'm gonna have to probably play around with it and figure out what I like. You know, guys, it's gonna be hard to tell. This camera is kind of distorted. It's a wide angle setup on this camera, so I'm not gonna be able to tell much from here, but I probably should raise it up. But I'm gonna probably spend the weekend just kind of trying to figure out where I want to put it, and everything looks good up here. Yeah, engine bay continues to look awesome, which is what I wanted. These parts look good. Custom aluminum pieces here, that looks awesome. Cool. Well guys, I think this came out really, really good. This is what I wanted. I want to continue to upgrade the car, get a little more performance out of this thing. I'm gonna need to take some time to figure this out and make sure I got the settings where I want. You know, you just can't do that in an hour. You gotta go drive the car around and make some changes and stuff like that. Plus I gotta put those covers, I gotta put them back on there and bolt that back in. But I gotta figure out where the height's gonna be first, and then I'll wrap that up. But we don't need to really worry about that because that's boring stuff, bolting that back in. Cool, so you guys want to check that out. It's Mike Maier's parts. You wanna go over to his website, Mike Maier Inc., and check out what he has. This is the MOD1 kit, and this is where I wanted to be. I wish I would have bought these to begin with over those mods, the ones that I had before. But as you go along, you guys can kind of figure out where you want to be, and knowing what I know now, I think this is a great place to be, and I should have started here. But I'm happy with them, and the parts are fantastic. They're built really well, and they're built in the United States, and they're all done by Mike Maier. So he builds them all in-house, which is awesome that he does that. So I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff, and I like that. So cool, I'm gonna play around with the car a little bit and get her figured out, but you guys, we'll see you in the next one.